Welcome into Steelers Talk. I am your host, Jack Sperry. Welcome into the show, man. I cannot wait to break down the latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers with you guys here on NFL Combine Week. The Steelers are interviewing with players. They're meeting with players. They're doing all this great stuff where Omar Khan's talking to the media tomorrow. There's a bunch of great stuff coming our way. Maybe a trade is in the works for Justin Fields. Who knows? But we're going to talk about it all on today's show. So first things first, we're going to talk about the latest news and rumors surrounding the black and gold. The latest on Justin Fields. We'll be talking about L'Jarius Sneed and whether the Steelers should try to trade for him after the Chiefs put him on the franchise tag this morning. We got a couple more QB rumors to talk about. Bunch of great stuff in that segment coming up. And then also we got the mock draft roundup. Mel Kiper Jr. just put out his latest mock draft today. We'll be discussing his mock draft, who he has the Steelers taking. It's a pretty darn good player, if I do say so myself. And then there's a very interesting mock draft from CBS that has the Steelers trading up for a quarterback. We'll talk about that here in just a second as well. And then also, make sure you guys use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat to get on the Steelers Talk Live mailbag. Jeffrey Cooperstein, our producer, is already waving his terrible towel. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Here we go, Steelers. Here we go. Coop, how we doing this week, my friend?
I am good, brother. It's another Wednesday. Hopefully, it'll get just as crazy as Wednesday last week.
Oh, my goodness. Last week, it was the craziest live watch party we have ever had on the channel, including our watch parties, right? It was just absolutely nuts. Like, we got past our third segment, and all of a sudden, the 20s and the $50 Super Chats just keep pouring in, and then all of a sudden, those $20 and $50 Super Chats became $100, $200, $300 Super Chats, and by the end of the stream, we had almost $2,000 in Super Chats. It was absolutely unbelievable.
It was absolutely nuts, and we'll show you. We have a bunch of stuff to show you guys today regarding those Super Chats. I'm just getting our Super Chat set up so they can pull, so just give me one moment, and we'll get to our first Super Chat.
I already see that we have a couple of Super Chats coming in, so thank you to everybody that has already Super Chatted. We'll get to you guys here in just a second, but also make sure you guys use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat to get your question on today's Steelers Talk mailbag. Omar Khan, we're going to have his interview from the Combine. We got a whole team of people in Indianapolis for us here at Chat Sports. Going to be giving you guys that interview here on the channel tomorrow. So while Coop is getting those Super Chats ready, let's talk QBs, all right? Because right now, based on all the rumors, it seems like it's either going to be Russell Wilson, Justin Fields, or Kenny Pickett as the next quarterback for the Steelers in 2024. There are a lot of people in this fan base that still really believe in Kenny Pickett. And listen, I understand why. You know, you draft a kid in the first round. You feel bad for him because he didn't really have an offensive coordinator that was worth his salt the first 2 years of his career. He's had some game-winning drives, all these different things. And they look at those things, and they're like, you know what? We need to go with Kenny Pickett for one more year with a legitimate OC. And I get where those people are coming from. But at the end of the day, as somebody that has seen him on film, I'm just not there right now. I don't think that somebody going into year 3 should be looking the way that he does on film. I don't care what the offense looks like, man. It's the accuracy for me. Like, it's not, oh, he has nobody open and he has no chance to succeed. It's like, no, there's actually quite a few opportunities for him to push the ball down the field on his film, and he's either A, not seeing it, or B, when he does see it, he's not accurate enough with the football. So he's not pushing the ball down the field. He's not getting the ball in the end zone. And those are the two things the Steelers need to succeed. I think if you can get a Russell Wilson or a Justin Fields, you go from like 10 wins with Kenny Pickett, Mitch Trubisky, and Mason Rudolph to probably 12, 13, maybe even 14 wins with a guy like Russell Wilson or Justin Fields. Right now we've got a poll going on the channel right now. Who will be QB1 this year? 42% say it's going to be Justin Fields. 30% say it's going to be Russell Wilson. 25% say it's going to be Kenny Pickett. And then 3% say it's going to be somebody else, probably Mason Rudolph fans, that additional 3%. So for me personally, right now, I think if you would have asked me yesterday, I would have said Justin Fields is probably the number one choice here. But right now, because the Atlanta Falcons are being rumored as the number one trade destination for Justin Fields right now, I would honestly have to say Russell Wilson might be the guy here in Pittsburgh in 2024, because if Justin Fields is traded to Atlanta and Denver releases Russell Wilson in 2 weeks' time, which is the expectation, and he wants to come to Pittsburgh for the vet minimum, which is what the latest reports are saying. This is what I've been telling you guys for months. I think that that's something that could absolutely happen for the city of Pittsburgh here. Now, if Russell Wilson wants to go somewhere else, like Las Vegas, then I think the Steelers will probably just stick with Kenny Pickett. But if they can get Russell Wilson, somebody that was really, really good in 2023 when you look at his numbers, he had like 28 touchdown passes, less than 10 interceptions, like quarterback rating was in the top 10, touchdown percentage was really high, accuracy numbers were in the top 3. He's still a really good quarterback. And if you can get him for $1.2 million, which is less than half of the cap hit from Kenny Pickett that you're going to have from him next year, I mean, I'm taking that every single time. All right, so that's just where I'm at. Coop, how are we doing with the Super Chat? All right, sounds good. So we got a couple of Super Chats rolling in. We have to manually build them because our software isn't pulling them right now. But get your votes down there in the comments section. I see Bodie Irwin. I see Adam Kinnear. I see Omar's Burner. What's up, Omar's Burner? We got Josh Pulowski. We got Jameer We got Mooney. We got Titus Kitchen here. We got the King. His Royal Highness made it. Let's go. And we got CD Productions. We got Marjo Jones. We got CD Productions. We got Yogi is here. What's up, Yogi? We got James Williams here. We got Mr. Deadhead. We got Steelers International. We got Steven Carpenter. We got a whole crew today, man. And look. All right, so now Coop says we've got the Super Chats here. So first one's coming in from Elliptic 6. And where's his Black Diamond sticker? Coop's getting a little upset. All right, so Black Diamond here, Elliptic 6, $5 Super Chat, says, sorry I've been gone, missed the lives of the last 3 weeks, but I'm back now with the best Steelers info. Keep up the good work. I appreciate you, Elliptic 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6er. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6er. 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 Good to see your face, Elliptic 6, man. It's been too long. Then we got $2 Super Chat here from Light Up Productions. It says, how many years Wilson got in him? What happens after? So we'll actually answer this question on today's mailbag, Light Up Productions. So make sure you guys stick around for that. And then we've got a brand new Steelers Talk Black Diamond from last week. Omar's Burner. Boom, his brand new Super Chat sticker right there. $5 Super Chat. Welcome to the club, Mr. Omar's Burner. He says, this is a critical draft for us to nail in order to truly compete for years to come. Hoping Omar can channel his inner Max Strus in crunch time. Don't bring up Max Strus to Mr. Jeffrey Cooperstein.
Omar.
Huge Dallas Mavericks.
Omar knows that too.
And Omar knows that. So Max Strus.
Come on now.
Absolutely, man. Pulling up from 60, swish. And I mean, on Coop's birthday too. It was Coop's birthday yesterday.
BS.
But speaking of that, can we sing happy birthday to Coop real
quick?
Coop, get on screen. Get on screen. We're going to sing happy birthday to you, my friend. Everybody spam happy birthday, Coop, in the chat.
Thank you.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Happy birthday to you.
Wow.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Coop.
Well done.
Happy birthday to you.
Thank you.
Let's go.
I appreciate it. 28 years old, ready to freaking ride on today's show.
Timmy G says happy birthday, Coop. Shane Reich is saying happy birthday. Steven Carpenter says happy birthday. Mr. Deadhead, Bodie, Irwin, Pat, Titus, Omar's Burner. Everybody's wishing you a happy birthday, Coop. You have anything to say? You have anything to say, Steelers Nation?
Shout out to the Yinzers, man. I'm excited for this offseason. Hopefully Justin Fields is a Steeler here pretty soon, and we can get it popping because I'm excited.
Yeah, Coop's really big on the Justin Fields over here for Pittsburgh.
I'm very much in.
All right, man. So let's get into what we got today in our Super Chat menu. So any Super Chat that comes in, we've already had a couple come in. You're going to get a shout-out on the show, and you guarantee your question gets on the mailbag today. So you can send in like a $2 Super Chat, and your question's guaranteed to get on, all right? Every $10 that you spend today equals one raffle ticket for a raffle that we're going to do at the end of today's stream, which is for an F the Browns t-shirt. Do we have that photo, Coop?
We do.
Let's show the photo of the F the Browns t-shirt here. That somebody is going to be walking away with at the end of today's show. That's what it looks like. It's blocked out, so we can show it on YouTube. But F the Browns, somebody's walking away with this T-shirt today. Every $10 that you spend today equals a raffle ticket to win that T-shirt at the end of today's show. Then for a $20 Super Chat, you get your name on the Helmet Hall of Fame right here. We added, I don't know, about 10 names to it last week. We're going to be raffling it off. You guys can kind of see it in the light here. We're starting to collect some names on the helmet. So if you want to get your name on there, $20 Super Chat. And then last week we had Tortilla Slaps for $20, Coop.
Yes, we did.
And that was just a complete disaster. I got slapped at least 150 times last week. So this week we're upping the price to $50 for a Tortilla Slap. By the way, it was Coop's birthday yesterday. How about we give him some birthday slaps?
Please don't.
Can we please give Coop some birthday slaps today? Let's go. Let's get it going. All right, and then also $100 total. You get into Steelers Talk Gold Club. You get a Gold Club Super Chat sticker for life, and you get a shout out on every single Steelers Talk live show. So here's this week's shout out. Shout out to Austin, Mo Love, Brian, Anthony, Nathan, James, DJ V, Patty, Elliptic 6, Alexander, Zach, Troy, Andrew, Jesse, Go Blue Buckeye, Samuel Pugh, Hot Rod 24, Black and Gold Emperor 40, Lord Buddy Bear, Max Payne, Chad, F1, Steelers Dad, K, Drizzy, Andrew, Jesper, Jacob, Nightmare Sporting, DJ, Gwendolyn, Latanya, Etheria, Jesper, KJ Live Life, Kenny, Ryan, Marilyn, Matthew Bly, Brian Hagan, Omar's Burner, The King, and The Conquest King. Thank you guys so much for all of your support. And we actually have some Black Diamonds here. So here's the Black Diamonds that were here even last week. Our first 8 Black Diamonds. Shout out to Samuel Pugh, F1 Video Watcher, Nathan Glass, Kurgan Cold, Go Blue Buckeye, Elliptic 6, Gwendolyn, and Marilyn Krieger. And we got 3 new Black Diamonds just last week. So here are the brand new Black Diamonds and their Super Chat stickers. We got Omar's Burner with the Con Artist. We got Kyle King with the crown on there, His Royal Highness. And then we've got KJ Live Life with the tortilla. I know how much you love your tortilla slaps, KJ. Got you right here with your new Black Diamond Super Chat stickers. Thank you guys for all of your support. And let's get this thing going, man. We've got a bunch of great stuff today. We got the F the Browns t-shirt. And then also, do we have that leaderboard? We have the MVP leaderboard. So this is our last live show of the month of February, all right? So what we're doing this month is that we have a jersey that we're going to be giving away that says MVP or Yin's MVP for February that we're going to be giving away to somebody, whoever puts in the most $50 Super Chat. So right now, The King and KJ Live Life, 2 of our brand new Black Diamonds, are tied with 9 this month, all right? Omar's Burner is right behind them with 6, all right? So whoever comes out on top by the end of today's show is going to be walking away with this limited edition and completely unique Steelers Talk MVP jersey, number 29 for the amount of days this year. It's a leap year, so 29 days in the month of February, and it says February Yin's MVP. You could wear this thing out. You're the only person that's going to have this jersey on the face of the earth. So $50 Super Chats gets your tally up there. Right now, KJ Live Life and The King tied at 9. Let's see who's going to win it today on today's show. So we're going to get into our first segment coming up here. which is going to be the latest Steelers news and rumors coming to you from the NFL Combine. We'll be going over the updated Combine interview list for the Pittsburgh Steelers, all the players that they're talking to this week. We'll also talk about the latest on Justin Fields, Mason Rudolph, and an interesting quarterback target brought up by Plexico Burris actually this week that we haven't talked about on the show before. Then we're going to go into the mock draft roundup. Mel Kiper Jr.'s mock draft just dropped today. We got a bunch of different mock drafts to react to, and then also the live mailbag. Make sure you guys super chat or use hashtag Steelers to get your questions on the show.
It looks like our software is working now, so if you asked a question earlier, do it again using hashtag Steelers, and we'll be able to pull it.
Okay, so our software wasn't working before, so if you put in a question using hashtag Steelers before, you have to put it in again. Go ahead, use hashtag Steelers again along with your question so that we can get it on today's mailbag. Shout out to homie Zaya with a $2 super chat. Really do appreciate you, my friend. If you want to get a question on the show, homie Zaya, make sure you use hashtag Steelers. We'll get your question on the show. All right, Cooper, are we about to get things going right now?
Just give me one moment here.
Okay, sounds good. If you want to shout out in the chat right now, type me. Type me in the chat. I want to see who's here. We got 163 people here already. I see Omar's burner in here. I see Chase Jackson. I see Lucas. I see Josh. I see Pickens. I see Bode. I see M-Power. I see Light Up Productions.
I saw Omar asked a question. He said, is the fan-led mock draft for later in the stream? We are going to do it next week, Omar, just so we have ample time to prepare.
Yes, so we have a bunch of raffles and giveaways today, and we just felt like doing a fan-led mock would just beef up the show a little bit too much, but we will do it next week, Omar's, okay? So we will do that fan-led mock draft next week on Steelers Talk Live.
Oh, I can't believe Omar effed me with saying Max Strus clutch season. What a joke.
All right, man. It's already a fun show. Get those super chats in.
All right, let's go.
Somebody send in a 50 so I can slap Coop for his birthday, man. Let's get that going. Somebody down there. But without further ado, let's get into this first segment coming at you right now. The latest news and rumors surrounding the Pittsburgh Steelers. A new favorite has emerged to trade for Justin Fields at the NFL Combine, and it is not the Pittsburgh Steelers. I'm going to reveal who that is on today's edition of Steelers Talk, as well as talk about whether or not the Steelers should trade for L'Jarius Sneed after the Chiefs franchise tagged him earlier this morning. And then also make sure you guys stick around because we got the updated Combine interview list for the Pittsburgh Steelers. Lots of inside linebackers today, so make sure you stick around for that updated list. And before we get things going today, let me know down there in the comments section, what would be your one-word reaction if the Pittsburgh Steelers trade for Justin Fields this offseason? Let me know to kick off today's show what your one-word reaction would be. All right, now let's go to a new favorite to trade for Justin Fields here, which is now the Atlanta Falcons. Now, of course, Fields is from Georgia. It would be his hometown team. And this is definitely a team that has been connected to Fields in the past. But now NBC Sports reports that they have engaged in trade talks with the Chicago Bears, and they are considered the favorite among NFL circles at the NFL Combine this week. It was reported by Bears Talk by NBC Sports and says the Falcons are emerging as the number one trade option for Justin Fields and have contacted the Bears about Justin, a source tells NBC Sports Chicago. So listen, when it comes to Justin Fields and the Steelers, I've been saying it all freaking week, okay? I'm okay trading for Justin Fields. The only thing I don't want to happen is I don't want Omar Khan, the Steelers GM, to overpay for his services. Now, what does an overpay look like? It probably looks like giving up your first-round pick. All right, anything more than giving up your second-round pick, I think is probably overkill a little bit for Justin Fields because I'm not sure if he's worth that, in my opinion. And you got to think about it in terms of Russell Wilson as well because, you know, you could definitely get Russell Wilson, and it definitely looks like the Denver Broncos are going to be releasing Russell Wilson within the next 2 weeks, which means he's going to be a free agent, and he's probably going to want to sign for the Pittsburgh Steelers for the vet minimum, all right? And you can, if you get Wilson, you still have all of your draft picks. So you have to keep that in mind when you're weighing what you're going to offer Chicago in exchange for Justin Fields. And for me, if I'm Omar Khan, I'm not offering anything more than a second-round pick. If Chicago doesn't like that, they can give Atlanta a call. They can take him for all I care. So let me know down there in the comments section, who's the more likely option for the Steelers to get this offseason, all right? Who's more likely to be the starting quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024? Type JF if you think Justin Fields and trading for Fields is more likely, or if you think Russell Wilson and signing him in free agency is more likely. Type RW down there in the comments for today's pinned comment. YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time. But let me know whether you think Fields or Wilson is more likely to join the Steelers. So now let's shift from the quarterback rumors to free agency now, well, like technically trade market now, which is that the Kansas City Chiefs have placed the franchise tag on cornerback L'Jarius Sneed here. And he was somebody that many Steelers fans and many Steelers pundits were tagging as a potential free agency target for the Steelers. It was reported by Ian Rappaport here, the insiders on NFL Network. The Chiefs haven't tagged cornerback L'Jarius Sneed yet. This was yesterday, by the way. They have tagged him now, but they are expected to, and he has permission to explore a trade. So just because the Chiefs tagged him this morning, that does not mean that they are necessarily going to keep him. In fact, they have told L'Jarius that he can seek out a trade. So the big question for the Steelers is, does this make sense to trade for L'Jarius Sneed now that you have to trade for him instead of just sign him in free agency? Well, last year he was the 30th overall graded cornerback in the National Football League with a grade of 72.5. And what L'Jarius really does when you watch his film is that he's an extremely aggressive press man corner, and that's exactly what the Steelers like in their corners, right? Joey Porter Jr. on the other side, that's exactly what he does well, and because they franchise tagged him, if the Steelers trade for Sneed at this point, they would be paying him almost $20 million as he is on the franchise tag for 2024. And personally, guys, I really don't think the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to see it in their interest to trade for Sneed and pay him over $19 million, all right? They're going to have limited funds to use in free agency. They've got a couple of spots that they probably want to find legitimate veteran starters in. You got corner, you got offensive tackle, you got center, inside linebacker, potentially safety. There's a lot of stuff that they're probably going to want to hit in free agency, and I don't think they're going to want to spend $20 million of that by trading for L'Jarius Sneed. So still to come here on Steelers Talk, we got more quarterback buzz surrounding Mason Rudolph and another quarterback target that we haven't talked about all that much here on the show. Kind of surprised me a little bit. And then also we've got the updated combine interview list for the Pittsburgh Steelers. You're not going to want to miss that. But before we talk about those things, let's talk about Prize Picks, our sponsor today. Football season may be over, folks, but the action on the floor when it comes to college and pro basketball is just heating up. Whether it's tournament season or the fight for playoff home court, there's no shortage of high-stakes basketball moments this time of the year. Get in on the excitement with Prize Picks today, America's #1 fantasy sports app where you can turn your hoops knowledge into serious cash. Quick withdrawals, easy gameplay, and an enormous selection of players and stat types are what makes Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app in the United States of America. Now, you might be asking yourselves, how does this work, Jack? Well, here's how you play. You pick 2 to 6 players, and if they'll go for more or less than their Prize Picks projection, you can even win up to 25 times your money on any entry. With Prize Picks, it takes less than 60 seconds to make your picks, so get started right now. Download the app today and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100 today. Again, download the app and use code CLNS for a first deposit match up to $100. Pick more or pick less. It's that easy with our friends at Prize Picks. So now let's go to Sam Darnold, shall we? As former Steelers wide receiver Plexico Burress says that the team should sign Sam Darnold as competition for Kenny Pickett heading into 2024. This is what Burress had to say. You know what makes the most sense for me? When I say this to people, they kind of look at me like, well, he's not the most desirable guy, but he fits, and it's Sam Darnold. I think he fits what Pittsburgh wants to do right now. listen, he's not young big Ben Roethlisberger. He's not a bad quarterback. So I think when you look at Sam Darnold's stats back in 2022, the last time where he spent any significant amount of time as a starter, he almost led the Panthers to the playoffs down the stretch, if you'll remember, and he actually played pretty darn well. He was top 10 in the league in accuracy in terms of on-target percentage. He was top 2 in yards per attempt and big-time throw percentage, so he was extremely efficient, and he was fitting it into really tight windows as well. The touchdown percentage was also really good at 5.0. The interception percentage, which has been traditionally high in his career, was floating around league average. And then the quarterback rating was pretty darn good as well at 92.6. And even though he only started 6 games, he still finished 21st overall in points above replacement. So in terms of per game, Sam Darnold was arguably one of the most valuable quarterbacks in the National Football League just 2 seasons ago with the Carolina Panthers. And my take on Darnold, guys, is that I think he'd be a good backup. I think he would actually provide some legitimate competition for Kenny Pickett. Now, would he start over Pickett week 1? Probably not, all right? If you're keeping Pickett, he's your guy to start, at least to start the season. But if you want to bring in a guy that you can trust on the field as a potential starter in this league in case Kenny Pickett stinks it up again, I think Sam Darnold is a pretty decent option that you can get on the cheap. Now let's go from Sam Darnold to Mason Rudolph here, where there's definitely conflicting reports as to just how much interest Rudolph is getting from NFL teams around the league here. And there's definitely a bunch of different people weighing in. So let's start with ESPN's Bill Barnwell, who says that Rudolph will likely re-sign with the Pittsburgh Steelers because there is not a whole lot of interest from other teams around the National Football League, except from the Pittsburgh Steelers, who really want him back. But then there's other reports, like from Mike Garafolo from NFL Network, who say, maybe not so fast. It looks like there's actually some teams with some interest in potentially bringing in Mason Rudolph as a starting quarterback in 2024. This is what Garafolo had to say on NFL Network earlier today. My understanding is the door is not closed on Mason Rudolph possibly returning to Pittsburgh, but they do expect, Rudolph's camp does expect, that there will be opportunities elsewhere potentially for him, particularly because he did play well there in those spots down the stretch. Now, when it comes to Mason Rudolph, guys, I actually think there's going to be a bit of a market for him, all right? There's a lot of teams that are going to be drafting young quarterbacks this year in the NFL draft, and they don't want to just have that young quarterback. They want to have somebody that they trust as a nice bridge quarterback, somebody they can trust on the field for now and can be a good mentor for a rookie quarterback that they draft this spring. So I definitely think teams like the Denver Broncos, New England Patriots, Minnesota Vikings, a bunch of these teams that are going to be drafting quarterbacks this year, I think Mason Rudolph is a very attractive option to them because he's a proven spot starter in this league. He's got experience, and he's a good locker room guy as well, so he would be a good bridge and a good mentor to whatever rookie they end up drafting. So I do think there's going to be a market for Rudolph, and because of that, I don't think he'll be back with the Pittsburgh Steelers in 2024. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments. Will Mason Rudolph be a Steeler in 2024? Give me a yes or no to predict Mason Rudolph's future right here on Steelers Talk. So now we'll finish out the show today with an updated Combine interview list. Interviews are going to be happening all throughout the week. We'll continue to update the list as the week goes on for you guys. But today it was mostly inside linebackers, edge rushers, and defensive tackles. So let's start with the confirmed formal interviews, all right? So the Steelers have 45 formal interviews that they can do throughout the week. They've already done 8. So here's the list. You got Edgerrin Cooper, Jeremiah Trotter Jr., Junior Colson, and Tommy Eichenberg, 4 inside linebackers, all of which expected to go within the first 4 rounds. Then you get Byron Murphy II. Very interesting there. Arguably the top defensive tackle in this year's draft class. Really good player. Got a formal interview with Mike Tomlin and the Steelers today. Then we got Rook. I don't even know how to say this one, man. Rook, I'm just going to butcher it, man. The guy out of Clemson, okay? Then we got McKinley Jackson out of Texas A&M. And then Austin Booker, the only edge, with a confirmed formal interview to this point. Then we get to the informal meetings for the defensive tackles. Eric Watts, Jordan Jefferson, Gabe Hall is an interesting name. Tyler Davis out of Clemson, Logan Lee, and Chris Jenkins from Michigan all had informal meetings. Then we get to the edge rusher position, a little bit more here. Darius Robinson, the star from the Senior Bowl. Javon Solomon. We got Cedric Johnson, Miles Cole, Braden McGregor, Jalen Harrell, Marshawn Nealon, and Jalix Hunts. And then we get to inside linebacker here. It says edge up there, but it's actually inside linebacker. We got J.D. Bertrand, another highly regarded inside linebacker prospect. We got Darius Muaso, I hope I'm saying that right. And then we got Nathaniel Watson from Mississippi State. So those are all the players that the Steelers have talked to at these positions. And that'll be it for today's show. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now for more extensive Steelers coverage all throughout the 2024 offseason. Oh! Omar's burner gets closer to the jersey. There it is. Omar Khan, the Khan artist with a $50 super chat.
He said, of course, I'd be the one to send in 50 for Coop to get slapped. Of course. Is there anything behind DraftKings removing odds for where Justin Fields will go? Would think to prevent people with inside info from betting. We were talking about that earlier a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that they're shutting down the betting markets right now definitely indicates that something is definitely about to happen. Now, I don't think anything is going to happen until at least Friday, because I think Chicago is trying to get the very most that they can get out of whatever team gets Justin Fields. Okay?
You think at the earliest until after the combine, basically?
Yeah, like Friday is the earliest date that I could see something officially being official. But the fact that DraftKings is removing their odds right now is definitely a sign that things are progressing and progressing quickly, and that there's inside information out there that they don't want people cashing in on, all right? So that's definitely the case right there. And then we have a new leader for the MVP!
Oh!
And it's His Royal Highness Kyle King! The King is here! And he says, this is the Justin Fields Coop Good Luck Happy B-Day slap.
Thank you.
Two slaps coming your way,
Two
Mr.
slaps.
Coop. Do you want them now or do you want them later?
Yeah, we'll do them now. F it.
All right, make sure you guys use hashtag Steelers or Super Chat to get your questions on the mailbag. I'd say at this point, you probably got a Super Chat if you want your question on the show.
Yeah, probably.
Because we got a lot of Super Chats coming in. $5 Super Chat here from Damian Roy. Says, let's get it started.
My birthday celebration as
well.
well.
Oh, it's his birthday today,
Shout
too.
out Damien.
Everybody spam happy birthday, Damien. Happy birthday, Damien.
Damien.
Happy birthday to you.
Cha, cha, cha.
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Damien. Happy birthday to you.
All right, Damien.
Shout out Damian Roy, super chatting us. He's paid us money on his birthday.
That's crazy.
What the hell is that about, Damian?
That's crazy. We appreciate you, Damien. You're always a real one, always in the chat, hanging out with the homies.
We appreciate you, Damian. You're a real one. You know that. Then we got a $1 super chat here from Homie Zaya. Another super chat here from Homie Zaya.
Yes.
Thank you so
Shout
much,
out.
homie.
Oh, boy.
Oh, boy, what?
It's time.
What's time for
to
what?
be slapped.
Okay, let's go. Cassie got me. We ran out of our
tortillas.
Fresh tortillas. We actually ran out of tortillas last week. We were slapping so much. So this week, already two $50 super chats. And Coop's about to get some birthday slaps for turning 28. Let's go. Gotta fold it. Coop's putting on his freaking helmet again. It's so dumb. All right, you ready?
No.
Happy birthday, Coop.
Oh. I hate you guys.
Let's go.
I really love you. Let's go, Steelers.
Oh, Coop. He cracks. He cracks me up, man. He really does. Keep sending in those 50s for birthday slaps for Coop. Let's go.
Omar, I'm not saying, but after what Sperry almost did to you before the show today, just be thankful.
My God.
Just be thankful.
Shout out to the King and shout out to Omar's burner. So the updated leaderboard. The King is at 10, right?
King is at, hold on, I literally just updated it, so just give me one moment.
So I'm pretty sure the King just took the lead over KJ Live Life.
Yes, correct.
And then Omar's burner is at 7. So Omar is still 3 behind the King. And these are $50 super chats. The winner of this leaderboard today for the month of February is going to walk away with a February Yins MVP jersey today.
That looks like the King is... I haven't seen KJ yet.
I haven't seen KJ yet either, but sometimes he comes in later.
He did come in later last time.
He came in later last week, all right? So this thing is far from over, man. Let's get this thing going right now. Send in those 50s.
There was a stiff that was in the chat that was before you, and we had tried to ban him. And so we did ban him, and Sperry almost banned you from the channel.
Accidentally?
It was an accident, obviously. And we would have unbanned you, but I just wanted to tell you.
All right, I'm guessing we got enough questions.
Yeah, we got plenty.
All right, let's get into this mailbag right now. I want to answer some Steelers questions. It's an interesting week with Justin Fields and the Combine and draft stuff coming up. There's a bunch of great stuff to talk about. Let's talk about it right now. Coop, are we ready to get things going?
Yes, sir. Uno momento. No spawn on.
Come on, man. Somebody send in another 50. I felt like I didn't get everything into those first couple slaps.
I'm still sore from last week.
I need to get things going again. Come on.
All right. Ready to rock?
Time to get that the slap train going just like we did last week.
I hope not.
All right, let's get into it right now. Can't wait to answer your questions. Again, use hashtag Steelers and super chat your questions even while I'm answering it live here on the show for a chance to get your question on the mailbag. So without further ado, let's get into it. The Steelers Talk mailbag coming at you at Combine Week. Welcome into Steelers Talk. I am your host, Jack Sperry, and today it is the weekly mailbag where I answer your questions on the black and gold. It is NFL Combine Week. By the time this comes out, most of the Combine's festivities have already been done. But, man, it's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to see where your questions are. So before we get things going today, make sure you guys click that subscribe button to join the most interactive Steelers YouTube community right here on the platform, okay? We strive to give you guys a voice, to get your questions, your ideas, your thoughts on the show, on the mailbag every single week because we love you, we care about you, and we want to give you guys a voice right here on the channel. So with that, I'll pause and open it up for questions. $50 super chat here from Omar's burner, one of our newest Black Diamonds, and he says, of course, I'd be the one to send in the 50 for Coop to get slapped. Also, is there anything behind DraftKings removing the odds for where Justin Fields will go? Would think to prevent people from inside info from betting. I definitely think something's up here when it comes to DraftKings taking down betting for Justin Fields' next place because I do think that they're worried about people cashing in on inside information. These people talk at the Combine, man. They talk with each other. They know who's calling about certain players and all these different things, and rumors spread. And when you have all these people in one spot discussing the same thing and they're telling each other the same things, things can get a bit hairy. So I definitely think something's up, and I definitely think the Atlanta Falcons are emerging as a favorite to land Justin Fields. Who knows what happens? Maybe Omar Khan does something here and he lands Justin Fields in the next couple of days or weeks. But I definitely think Atlanta is probably the presumptive favorite at this point. Then we got one from Pickens14 Goat. It says, why did Art Rooney get an F- on the NFLPA report card? Is he really that bad? So the Steelers got an F- for family engagement. Okay, so it wasn't an F- overall, but they were ranked 28th overall according to the report card. So that report card, it's embarrassing, man. The facilities are terrible. You share it with a college team. I mean, there's just, when it comes to all the fancy stuff that NFL players are used to. The Steelers just don't have any of that. They've got like the worst locker room, the worst training facilities. Apparently, they don't like the owner, Art Rooney, very much. He's not very good for families. So when you combine all of that, you get this really low ranking. And honestly, guys, I wish that Art Rooney would put a little bit more investment into this team because, I mean, it's a blue blood franchise, and these players deserve to get treated right. Then we got one from The Bus, and he says, how do you feel if the Steelers signed Xavier Howard this offseason? So Howard got cut by Miami for a reason, guys, all right? In coverage, he really fell off a cliff last year. Now, if the Steelers want to bring him in on like a short-term deal that's like, you know, not very expensive, sure, why not? Bring him in. He's a good fit schematically for this defense, I think. Now, that would have Patrick Peterson bringing in like an older corner on a team-friendly deal. That has Patrick Peterson written all over it, and we all know Pat Pete just wasn't fast enough to survive on the outside this year. Maybe that's Xavier Howard, right? So I don't know. This smells like a Steelers signing to me, so I could certainly see it happening. But personally, I'd like to get a little bit more youthful, and I'd like to get a little bit more speed. But let me know what you guys think down there in the comments section. Would you sign Xavier Howard this offseason? I think he's going to be relatively cheap, so keep that in mind. This will be the pinned comment on today's show, so whenever you get a second here, whenever YouTube throws you an ad break, give me a yes or no to the question, would you sign Xavier Howard? Then we got one from Bo Derwin here. It says, how much cap hit do the Steelers have right now? So they've got just under $10 million to spend right now, according to what the NFL just released their cap number to be in 2024. They've got just under $10 million, and they still have some players that they could cut. If you cut Allen Robinson, you save $10 million more dollars. I think that's a move that they're going to have to make here coming up. Also, you got DeMonte KZ, Patrick Peterson, Keanu Neal. There's still players that they could cut to create more space. And then they also have restructures. Alex Highsmith, Minkah Fitzpatrick have multiple years left on their deals, and it would certainly make sense to maybe restructure those guys as well to maximize the amount of cap space to work with heading into free agency. Then we got one to Homie Zaya here. He says, trade Deontay Johnson for a second-round pick, then get Pittman Jr., then pick quarterback in round 2. So Michael Pittman Jr. is going to be pretty darn expensive. It's going to depend on the moves that they make in terms of creating cap space that I just talked about, the restructures, the cuts. It's going to depend how much space that they have because I don't think they're going to want to spend all of their cap space on a wide receiver. And Michael Pittman Jr., if you guys remember, DeMonte KZ absolutely laid it into him in the game last year in Indy. Is Pittsburgh really a place that he wants to go? I don't know the answer to that question. I like Michael Pittman Jr. as a player. Would certainly love to have him on the team, but he's expensive. I don't know how practical it is. And then if you can get a Michael Penix Jr. in round 2, I am 100% on board with that. Then we got one from Light Up Productions here, and he says 1 to 10, realistic chance of getting Fields, 1 to 10, realistic chance of getting Russell Wilson. So on a scale of 1 to 10 for Fields, I'd put it, this might surprise some people. I'm going to put it at a 4 right now. Okay, I don't think the Steelers want to give up that first-round draft pick, and I don't blame them. And I think there's other teams out there that are interested in Fields, like the Falcons, that probably are willing to give up more in terms of draft capital to the Bears than the Steelers are willing to give up. But then you go to Wilson. I would say it's at a 7, okay, because I think Russell Wilson, you look at his numbers, you look at his film, he's still a good quarterback in this league. And you can get him for $1.2 million. Are you kidding me? Sign me up for that. I think Omar Khan is going to see that. I think Mike Tomlin's going to see it. If he's made available, he wants to go to Pittsburgh, I think he's going to be a Steeler. So we got more questions coming up here in just a second. But first, I want to tell you about our friends at Fanatics. Go to chatsports.com/throwback to get your hands on this awesome Steelers throwback t-shirt on their website, on sale right now during the offseason. If you're a fan of just classic designs, you don't want all this crazy stuff on your t-shirts, I think this is a perfect t-shirt for you. It harkens back to a great time in Steelers history with the throwback helmet, all these different things, and you got the classic black. I just think this is a super clean, super fresh t-shirt that would look great in your closet, and it's on sale right now from our friends at Fanatics when you use our link, chatsports.com/throwback. That's chatsports.com/throwback. The link is in the comments and description of today's video. Check it out now before they run out in your size. Then we got one from TELB Productions. It says, thoughts on Darius Rush. So I like Rush. I like the physical tools that he brings to the table. He runs fast. He's long. He's physical. I thought he looked good on his film. I had a 5th-round grade on him last year. So I like him. I don't love him. And he's just another youthful corner to have in the room. You got Joey Porter Jr. and you've got Corey Trice Jr., 2 guys that I think have a ton of potential. Joey Porter Jr. is already fantastic. Darius Rush, I'd say, definitely is lower on the totem pole at this point. He wasn't given a helmet for a lot of the games down the stretch, and that's with guys like Levi Wallace and James Pierre getting helmets. So I don't think he's overly impressive at this point in his career, and I'd be surprised if he's a starter for the team heading into the future. Then we got one from Tail Spinna. He says, why haven't the Steelers cut Allen Robinson yet? Good question, man. I wish I had that freaking answer. They should cut Allen Robinson because, I think what they might be doing is they're trying to get him to take a pay cut and keep him on the team for some reason, but it's like, why keep him? He can't separate against man coverage. I think it might be because he's a good run blocker, and Arthur Smith likes that, but you can't just be a wide receiver and be a run blocker. You got to get open. You have to provide value as a pass catcher, and Allen Robinson just doesn't do that. So I think at the end of the day, he should and he will get cut, and that's going to save the Steelers $10 million for 2024. So what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments section. What will the Pittsburgh Steelers do with Allen Robinson? Will they keep him or will they cut him? Type C for cut or K for keep. Let me know what you guys think. Then we got one from Shane Reich, and he says, if we use a 3rd and 4th round picks to get Fields, could we trade Pickett and Deontay Johnson for 3rd and 4th round picks? So I actually think Deontay Johnson you could probably get a 2nd round pick for, but then Pickett I think could probably be worth a 5th or a 6th. Just because of the way that he's played so far in his career. He doesn't have a super high upside or anything along those lines. I would say a 2nd and a 5th is probably what you could get for Pickett and Deontay if you end up trading for Justin Fields. Then we got one from Limesy here, and he says, do you think we could get a good wide receiver for Deontay Johnson? If so, who? So I don't think that you would get one in a trade for Deontay Johnson. I think you'd get a draft pick in exchange for Deontay Johnson. And with the $10 million in additional cap space by trading Deontay Johnson, then you could potentially get a guy like Tyler Boyd or maybe a Mike Evans, all right? Somebody along those lines that's going to be hitting the free agency market here. And then also you could draft another wide receiver. Malik Washington is a guy that I love. Ricky Pearsall from Coop's alma mater there in Florida. Good stuff there. I would love that. So I think there's a lot of options if you end up trading Deontay Johnson, especially if you get a good high draft pick for him. So I can't answer the question of who right now, but I definitely know it would be somebody and probably somebody good with the way the Steelers know the position. So we got more questions coming up here in just a second. But first, if you're enjoying today's content, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon right now. If you are a real one, really do appreciate all of your guys' support. If you click that thumbs up icon, it'll tell the YouTube algorithm to push this video out to other Steelers fans like yourselves. Then we got one from Mike in Texas. It says, what do you think of James Williams from Miami? Safety, linebacker, hybrid. So he's definitely somebody that's going to go probably on day 3. He's a bigger safety, and that's what the Steelers like, especially when they run that 3 safety package that Mike Tomlin likes to run. Now, they might bring back Terrell Edmonds, and he fills that role. So if they bring back Terrell, I would say James Williams is probably off the table. But, you're sitting in round 5 or round 6 this year. James Williams is sitting there. I absolutely think he's somebody that could be there for the taking for the Pittsburgh Steelers, especially if they haven't taken a safety at that point. Then we got a $5 super chat here from Omar's Burner. He says, thoughts on moving Darnell to tight end? He meant offensive tackle. He would add another element to Arthur's offense. If we do eligible receiver, also reportedly all-pro upside. So he's got the body for it, but I think if you're going to make that decision, they probably would have already told Darnell what their plan is, and he'd be putting on more weight. I don't think he's ready to be an offensive tackle at his current weight. He'd have to put on poundage, and I don't think that's what they want him to do. I think Arthur Smith wants to have 5 down linemen, regular linemen, and then he wants Darnell Washington to be a massive, hulking, run-blocking tight end. I think that's what his vision is for him. So I don't see them moving Darnell over to tackle. I see him as a blocking tight end, kind of like Zach Gentry was here for so many years. And that's kind of what I think their vision is for him, and I think he's going to be damn good at it. Let me got one from Edging422. It says, I get that Russell Wilson might be the best QB option for the short term, but what is the plan long term if he signs here? So this is what I'll say, okay? I think the Steelers roster is ready to win now. They got a great defense, great head coach in my opinion, weapons out the wazoo on offense. Really like where this team is going. The offensive line's getting better, all that stuff. I think they got a legit OC. They're a quarterback away in my opinion. So I don't want to think about, future. I want to think about right now. Get Russell Wilson, okay? So that's step number 1 for me because I think he gives you the best shot to win a Super Bowl now and in the near future. And then if you want to think about future, how about we talk about guys like Michael Penix Jr. in the 2nd round if he falls to you? Let's talk about Spencer Rattler in the 3rd round if he falls to you. Let's talk about guys like Michael Pratt if he falls to the 4th round. You know, some guys that might have some developmental upside here to kind of be a backup behind Russell Wilson, learn for a couple of years, and then when Russ is eventually moving on, we can potentially move on to a younger quarterback that's already primed, seasoned, and ready to go. That'll be it for today's mailbag. Thank you guys so much for all of your questions. Make sure you guys click that subscribe button right now for all the latest Steelers news and rumors updates all throughout this offseason. $10 super chat from Joseph Burrows.
Shout out Joseph.
A first-time super chatter, so let's give him some Ric Flair drip. Woo!
He sent in a sticker, but he also sent in a question.
Okay.
He said, I don't like the idea of getting another quarterback from Chicago. Why would we want another Chicago misfit?
He's talking about Trubisky? I mean, I don't think it's ever smart to scout the helmet.
Yes, it's in the draft and in the NFL as well.
It's like I kind of see where you're going with that, but like Justin Fields and Mitch Trubisky, completely different players.
Yes.
All right. Mitch Trubisky has never come close to rushing for 1,000 yards in a season. Justin Fields has already done it in his career. So I mean, I get why you have trepidations about Justin Fields, all right? He's not refined as a pocket passer. The accuracy is an issue. The 4th quarter numbers in the clutch, worst in the National Football League over the last couple of years. There's definite reasons to not like Justin Fields. I just don't think because he's from Chicago is one of the reasons why you shouldn't like him. That's just me, though. So coming up here, we got the mock draft roundup, Mel Kiper Jr., CBS, Pro Football Focus, and The Ringer.
And then stay tuned. If you are entered to win our $10 raffle, we will be doing it after this next segment.
Yes, we got a raffle coming up. If you have put in $10 or more in Super Chats this month, anytime during the month of February, you are entered to win the F the Browns t-shirt. Let's go, man. Oh, so Coop, it looks like Damien wants you to take a birthday shot.
Damien, you know what? F it, I got you. Give me one moment. Let me go get a shot glass. I'll be RB. Mystic Mountain Blueberry.
Mystic Mountain Blueberry. Gotta stay hydrated, man. Damien, happy birthday, my dog. Omar's Burner says, Sperry, I don't believe a lot of people love the mock draft you made. I just glanced at the comments. I'm okay with that. And I think the reason why they didn't like it is, A, they didn't like it because I traded for Justin Fields, and they don't want Fields, which is fine. And then number 2, I didn't take a corner until like round 6, and people kind of, their brains just exploded because of that. But you know what? The reason why I had a corner taken late and not early in the draft in my latest mock was because I think the Steelers are going to go free agency to address the cornerback position because they have Corey Trice Jr., and he's got potential, right? He's got that young guy potential. So you got Joey Porter Jr., who, of course, has the youth. He's fantastic. He's your number 1 guy on the outside. I'm not sure if with Corey Trice Jr. and his potential, I feel like they might just get a couple veteran corners instead of drafting one in the draft. That's just me, though. If they draft one early, and they absolutely could, that'd be great. Putting like Quinion Mitchell on the other side of Joey Porter Jr., man, that'd be scary for opposing offenses. And by the way, I'm not against drafting a corner early. Okay,
that's what I was going to ask. Would you rather draft a corner early, or would you rather sign a vet?
Well, it depends on the vet, and it depends on the rookie.
Yeah, of course.
So like
Damien, happy birthday to you as well.
Happy birthday,
Shout
Damien.
Out. Cheers.
Oh, so Omar's saying people were upset at wide receiver in round 2.
Whoop! Wide receiver in round 2?
I had Ricky Pearsall in round 2.
I don't hate that.
And here's the thing.
I'll tell you this. Ricky Pearsall's a dog.
Here's the thing, though. If they cut Allen Robinson, all right, and listen, if they have Tyler Boyd on the roster, they sign Tyler Boyd, and they have Boyd, Johnson, and Pickens on the roster along with CA3, yeah, probably not taking wide receiver in round 2.
Do you think it's likely that Tyler Boyd's a Steeler?
I mean, if I'd have to pick one team that he's going to sign with this offseason, I'd probably pick the Pittsburgh
That's what I would
Steelers.
say too, honestly.
So, I mean, it's going to be interesting to see. So Light Up Production says, Sperry, you won't see this, but at the start of the show, I sent $2 super.
Oh, I thought we got you, Light. Hang on.
No, we got you, Light Up.
Yeah, we did.
Yeah, we got you, Light Up. I remember we hit it early in the show. Did you miss that?
It's right here.
We can go back to it, right?
We'll go back.
All right, so here it was. How many years Wilson got in him? What happened after? So, I didn't answer this question.
Oh, maybe we didn't. Us, Light Up.
We addressed it.
That's correct.
But I didn't answer the question. So thank you, Light Up,
Light Up,
for letting us know. I'll answer this right now. I think Russell Wilson, with the way he takes care of his body and the way he was playing last year, I think he's got at least 3 good years of good football left in him. I think he's got at least 3.
Was he in this past year? Was that the second year of that huge contract that he signed?
Yeah.
That would make sense then, 3 years. I could see that.
I think 3. I think he gets to age 38. Because you look at Brady. Brady got up to like 44. 45. He was still playing at a high level. Aaron Rodgers, who doesn't even take care of his body all that well, was playing great at, age 40?
And he healed from an Achilles injury in 3 months?
Exactly. So Russell Wilson, who invests as much in his body as anybody else in the game. I mean, Brandon Marshall, I don't know if you guys watched the interview with Russ and Brandon Marshall on I Am Athlete earlier this week. Brandon Marshall, who is jacked, all right?
He's
in great shape.
He's in better shape than he was when he was playing football.
Exactly. He said he was having a hard time keeping up with Russell Wilson in his workouts. That's how in shape Russell Wilson is at this point at age 35. You're telling me he can't play another 3 good years of football?
I think he can, man.
I think he can, and it might even go past 3 years, honestly, with the way he takes care of his body. He says he wants 5 more years at least in the league. I think at least 3 of those he can play at a high level.
Yeah, I kind of agree with that. It'll be interesting to see. I think he could play to at least 40.
And then he asks what happens after. Keep taking shots at raw quarterback prospects and trying to develop them behind Russ.
No doubt.
Keep taking quarterbacks in round 4, round 5, guys with big arms.
Just not round 1.
Just don't take a round 1 QB, right? So, and listen, if you got Russell Wilson for the next 3 to 5 years.
You're not taking a round 1.
You're fine at quarterback. That is the long-term answer in terms of NFL. I mean, 5-year plan, that's about as far as you can predict in the National Football League. So
one more comment from the chat I wanted to get to, and then we'll get into the segment. Omar's burner, and this was a good one. We were actually talking about this earlier too, Spare Dog.
Yeah.
I think the free agents most likely to sign with us would be Aaron Brewer from the Titans, or Tyler Boyd, or Jonnu Smith.
I agree with all 3.
Yeah, I think the Steelers could get all 3.
I actually think you could say, if you told me they got all 3 of those players. It
wouldn't shock me one bit.
I'd be like, yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because Aaron Brewer, big-time Arthur Smith guy. He was his center in Tennessee his final year there when they were the number 1 seed in the AFC, by the way. Then you have Jonnu Smith, who Smith traded for, even though he had Kyle Pitts, and then gave him a massive contract and then featured him in his offense more than Pitts. He loves Jonnu Smith. All right?
Absolutely.
I think Jonnu Smith's a Steeler. All right, I just think that. And then you get Tyler Boyd, who's a Pittsburgh native.
He's a Yinza.
You know, he can run block.
And then if you sign Jonnu, all you have to do is you just move Connor Hayward to fullback.
Exactly. Just move Connor Hayward to fullback.
And that's it.
I like it, man.
All right. You ready to get into this piece?
Oh, so Titus Kitchen says, Wilson be due $50 billion the second year? I don't think he'd be worth 50.
No.
I think, let's say everything goes the way that it should with him, or the way that you would want it to go with him. You're a playoff contender, and you win at least one playoff game. Is he worth 35, 40 the next year?
So I guess my question is, if you're signing Russ this offseason, are you giving him a one-year deal? Probably so, because it'll be on that vet minimum, right?
Yeah, because I don't know, are you able to just have, 1 year vet minimum and then, sign for multiple years after that?
Yeah, I'm not sure how that works.
I don't think you can. I think if you're on the vet minimum,
it's a one-year deal.
It has to be a one-year deal.
I think so as well.
So I think that's probably, if the Steelers are going to get a different quarterback this year, not named Kenny Pickett, I think Russell Wilson at this point, sitting here today, I think that's the most likely option.
I'd agree. Yep.
Because he's the most affordable option. He had a good season last year, and it opens up so many opportunities for you in free agency. To have your starting quarterback at $1.2 million.
Are you joking?
He'd be in the bottom 10, maybe even bottom 5 in quarterbacks being paid.
It'd be like him and Brock Purdy.
It'd be like Brock Purdy, number 1,
and him,
and then Russell Wilson. And
yeah.
that opens up so many interesting possibilities for the Steelers in free agency.
You're getting me fired up.
Gotta be fired up, man.
Come on.
Let's go get Russ.
Come on.
I want him. Let's go win a Super Bowl with Russell Wilson. How about that?
All right. It's time for our mock draft, final segment of today's show. Stay tuned. We will be doing our raffle after this show, or after this segment.
Yep.
So stay tuned.
So KJ, live life.
If
you're watching,
around.
you're $150 super chat away from the king. Other than that, the king's going to take home the crown. And also $50 birthday slaps for Coop today with the tortillas. If someone wants to see Coop get slapped, $50, bring them in. Let's go. Without further ado, let's get into this mock draft roundup. Mel Kiper Jr. just released his latest mock draft. Who does he have the Steelers taking? I answer that question coming at you right now. We are officially in NFL draft season, and it is in full swing. So today, I'm going to be reacting to a lot of the most recent NFL mock drafts that have been released with some of the biggest publications in NFL draft media. I'm going to let you know who they have the Steelers taking in round 1 of the 2024 NFL draft. But before we get things going, do me a favor. Click that thumbs up icon if you guys want to do a fan-led mock draft right here on Steelers Talk next week on our live show, 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on Wednesday. If you want to see that on the show, you want to do a fan-led mock, make sure you click that thumbs up icon for me right now. So let's start with the godfather of the NFL draft himself, Mr. Mel Kiper Jr., and he has the Steelers taking at number 20 overall, cornerback from Clemson, Nate Wiggins. Now, Wiggins is one of my favorite corners in this entire draft class. He's long. He's got incredible recovery speed. I think in a normal draft, he'd probably be a top 15 guy, but because it's so loaded in so many different position groups this year, there's definitely a possibility Wiggins could fall to the Steelers at number 20. This is what Mel has to say about the Clemson Tiger corner. I went corner in my mock draft 1.0, and I don't see a reason to change, though the Steelers just cut starting center Mason Cole, and we'll have to replace him. Wiggins could pair a formidable pairing with Joey Porter Jr., who came on in the second half of last season. Wiggins allowed just 4.2 yards per attempt as the nearest defender in coverage last year, taking a leap forward from 2022 when he allowed 6.1. At 6'2", 185 pounds, he has a great blend of size and speed. With 2 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, and a sack, he showed up all over the Tigers' 2023 tape. And listen, I completely agree with Mel here. Wiggins is a phenomenal prospect. Maybe a little bit undersized at 185 pounds. Maybe want to be a little bit closer to 200. But that's the only knock on him, man. He plays with super sticky in coverage. He plays with great instincts. He's a willing tackler, and he's got the great recovery speed matched with those long arms. Exactly what you're looking for. And by the way, it's exactly what attracted the Steelers to Joey Porter Jr. So my prediction here when it comes to cornerback, though, is I think the Steelers are going to be focusing on corner in free agency because they already have their stud number 1 corner on the outside in Joey Porter Jr. So I think they're going to get a solid number 2 option in free agency, and they're going to wait and see what they have in Corey Trice Jr. Now, that doesn't mean they won't take a corner at some point during the draft. I'm sure they probably will, but I'm not sure it's going to be at the very top of their list. If I would have to guess right now, I think it's going to be offensive line, whether it be tackle or center, heading into round 1 of the 2024 NFL Draft. Now, what say you guys? Let me know down there in the comments. Will the Steelers go corner or offensive line in round 1? I think they're going to go offensive line at this point. But let me know what you guys think. Type CB for corner or OL for offensive line. This is going to be the pinned comment on today's show. So YouTube's going to throw you an ad break here in just a couple of seconds. When that happens, take advantage of that time by answering today's pinned question. Then we get to the Ringer's latest mock draft here where they have the Steelers taking Michael Penix Jr., the quarterback out of Washington. Very interesting pick here because they're assuming that they're going to keep Kenny Pickett. They're not going to trade for Justin Fields. They're not going to sign Russell Wilson. And Michael Penix Jr. is going to be sitting there for them at number 20, and the Steelers are going to take him. That's a lot of ifs right there if you ask me. But that's what the Ringer has to say about Penix to the Steelers. Penix will be a polarizing figure in this draft, and some will view this as a reach, but the former Washington star brings a quick, decisive style and an aggressive mentality to push the ball downfield to create explosive plays. Variables that differentiate him from what the team has gotten from Pickett. This is a bet that Penix can unlock the team's playmakers and get this offense out of its rut. Now, when it comes to my scouting report on Penix here, the arm strength is for real. The deep ball is arguably the best in the class this year, and that's saying something because you got Caleb Williams and Drake May and Jaden Daniels all in this class. Michael Penix Jr., supreme accuracy, and he can really sling that thing. And then he also has NFL-level mental processing. You go from 2 to 3 to 4 progressions across the formation. He's got an NFL mind, and I really think at the Combine this week, he's going to be impressing some people. However, the cons, that knee has been completely shredded throughout his time in college. That really limits his mobility. And then the pocket presence is definitely shaky on his college film. I do think with the right fit, he is worth a first-round pick. That's where I'm at with him. But if I'm the Steelers, I'm not taking a quarterback in round 1. Whether you keep Kenny Pickett or whether you actually go out and get a Justin Fields or Russell Wilson, I'm not sure if the Steelers see really any value in getting a quarterback in round 1. If you're sticking with Kenny Pickett, you feel like he is your guy at least heading into 2024. If you get Russell Wilson or Justin Fields, those guys are going to be your guy at the quarterback position. So I don't understand why so many mock drafts have the Steelers taking quarterbacks in round 1. Now, if Penix falls to them in round 2, maybe that's a different story depending on what they do in free agency and what they get in round 1. But I really don't see Penix falling that far because of the film. I think he's got actually really good film. But at the end of the day, man, I just don't really understand why people keep connecting Steelers to quarterbacks in round 1 when they're probably not going to take one. I actually go in depth on Michael Penix Jr. on a video we put out earlier on the channel. I'm going to put the link to that one in the comments and description. So if you're curious about the pros, cons, and pro comps of Michael Penix Jr. as he enters his rookie season, you guys can check that out on the channel right after today's show. All right, so now we got more stuff coming your way here, more mock drafts to talk about. But first, make sure you guys click that thumbs up icon for me real quick if you haven't already. The YouTube algorithm pushes videos out to other Steelers fans like yourselves. The more likes we get on this video, so I'd really appreciate it. If you're feeling generous today, you want to help out the channel, click that thumbs up icon right now. Now we get to the nuttiest mock draft of the day, where CBS Sports has the Pittsburgh Steelers trading up to number 9 overall to take Michigan quarterback J.J. McCarthy. Are you fucking joking me, guys? Unbelievable. Tom Fornelli from CBS put out this mock draft, and this was his reasoning. The Steelers realize Kenny Pickett isn't the answer and don't waste time trying to correct the situation. Arthur Smith is likely to bring a run-heavy offense that relies on play action and tight ends, and that sounds like the offense McCarthy ran at Michigan. McCarthy has a strong arm, diagnoses defenses quickly, and is a good enough athlete to regularly extend drives with his legs. He'd be a good fit here. Now listen, man, if the Pittsburgh Steelers trade up from number 20 to number 9 inside the top 10 to take J.J. McCarthy, I'm going to rip my freaking eyes out of their sockets. This would just be the worst trade Omar Khan has ever made in his career, and I haven't even seen the rest of his career. I would already know this would be the crowning jewel of the worst decisions he has ever made. Now, I like McCarthy a lot, okay? I like McCarthy, but he's a late first round, second round quarterback, all right? I think top 10 is a reach for him, and these guys think the Steelers are trading up to get him. I mean, if he falls to number 20, that's one thing, but to give up additional draft capital, moving from 20 to 9, that's probably going to cost the Steelers their first-round pick in 2025. I'm saying no way to this, man. J.J. McCarthy, okay? There's some things to like about him. He's got some pocket presence, and he plays with good pocket footwork. All right, he's a plus athlete. I wouldn't say he's on the level of a Jaden Daniels or a Caleb Williams in that regard, but you know what? He can run, all right? And then you get the arm strength. It's a pretty decent arm, and then, of course, he's got the leadership intangibles that you look for. But there are a number of cons that you have to take into account here, which is he doesn't really throw with a lot of touch. That scares me. A lot of one-read quarterbacking on his film. He doesn't really get to his third and fourth progressions consistently on that Michigan film because everybody's open. And speaking of that Michigan situation, he barely had to throw the football. All right, they ran the ball constantly, and when they did throw the football, they were usually way up in the football game, and things were really, really easy for him. So I just don't think that J.J. McCarthy, he wasn't a guy in college that could take on an offense and carry an offense with his arm. How the hell are we supposed to expect him to do that with the Pittsburgh Steelers as a top 10 pick, and we're trading up for him and giving up our first-round draft pick in 2025 in order to do so? It doesn't make sense. I don't know where Tom Fornelli is getting this from. I don't know what the hell he's smoking, but I probably want some of it because, damn, that thing's nice, all right? That stuff is nice. And with all due respect to J.J. McCarthy, I do not want to trade up for him in the top 10 whatsoever, all right? If he gets to number 20 and they want to take him, whatever, all right? I won't like it, but at least I won't rip my eyes out. I will rip my eyes out. I said it right here on the show. I will eat my shoe if they trade up to number 9 for J.J. McCarthy. Let me know down there in the comment section. What would be your one-word reaction if Pittsburgh trades up to number 9 for J.J. McCarthy? Mine is just shoe. I'm eating my shoe if it happens because it's not happening, all right? So that's mine. Then we get to the last one of the day. Now we go back to Sane World now, and we get to Quinion Mitchell from Pro Football Focus. Cornerback out of Toledo. This guy's one of my favorite prospects in the entire draft this year. Reminds me a lot of Devin Witherspoon when he was coming out of Illinois last year. Was fantastic at the Senior Bowl. This is what Trevor Sikkema has to say about the Toledo corner. The Steelers got a good one in Joey Porter Jr. at the top of the second round last year, but their investment in cornerbacks must continue. Mitchell was dominant at the Senior Bowl. He is scheme versatile and both skill and athleticism. He could easily be picked higher than this, but he will be high on Pittsburgh's board if he makes it this far. Now listen, like I said before, I don't think corner is going to be at the top of the Steelers list this year. I think it's probably going to be center or offensive tackle if I'd have to guess right now. But you know what, man? If they're taking corner and they get either Nate Wiggins or Quinion Mitchell, I'm not complaining, man. These guys are excellent cornerback prospects. And if you put them on the other side of Joey Porter Jr. for the next decade, all I have to say to opposing offenses is good luck because these guys are going to be locking you down. So shout out your guy down there in the comment section. Who do you want the Steelers to take in round 1? Do you want a corner? Do you want a tackle? Do you want Jackson Powers-Johnson? Do you want to trade up for J.J. McCarthy? In that case, with all due respect, you're an idiot. Let me know down there in the comment section, who do you want the Steelers to take in round 1? That'll be it for today's show, guys. Thank you so much for all of your support. You can check me out at Jack_Sperry on X/Twitter for more Steelers content all throughout the offseason. I'm also one of the top NFL draft analysts here at Chat Sports, so I'm going to be putting a bunch of just general NFL draft stuff on there. So if you want to learn more about football, you want to learn more about the Steelers, you want to learn more about these NFL draft prospects, give me a follow on Twitter at Jack_Sperry. All right, I'm severely dehydrated
You
now.
were parched. I think Quinion Mitchell might be undraftable just because look at this freaking picture.
Yeah, he doesn't look very happy to be at that photo shoot right there. I think he probably just got up. I'm guessing that photo shoot was like 5:30 before like a 6 a.m. practice or something.
He either just got out of bed or he was doing something else right before the photo shoot.
Now let's not speculate.
I'm not speculating.
Let's not speculate now.
No speculation.
All right.
Shout out to Damien. He's got to leave. Happy birthday to you, my brother.
Happy birthday, Damien. Thank you so much for your support, my friend.
All right. I am going to prepare the wheel.
Prepare the wheel for the F the Browns t-shirt.
Yes. Yes, indeed.
Coop, what'd you think of the J.J. McCarthy trade-up from CBS? It's ridiculous.
It is.
I'm sorry,
so
it is.
Outlandish, it's not even funny.
It's like J.J. McCarthy, I think he's fine, all right? There's a lot of
but
stuff.
But that's all he is.
But, he's not worth a top 10 pick, in my opinion.
No chance.
Now, we just don't know that much about him.
Exactly.
He hasn't been under intense adversity in his career, at least not that much, and he hasn't really passed the ball all that much, and when he has, he's usually had clean pockets and open receivers.
Yes.
And when I watched him on his film, it's not like there was a bunch of times where he was going from 1 to 2 to 3 to 4 like I see with Michael Penix Jr., Caleb Williams, and Drake May. I don't see that on J.J. McCarthy.
100%.
So listen, is he a decent athlete with a decent arm? Yeah. But does he have the intangibles you look for? Yes. But does he have the nuances to his game in terms of mental processing for me to really believe in him? Not trading up and giving up our first-round draft pick next year. No way. No way.
No way. No, I'm with you there, man.
I'm already not like super high on drafting any quarterback in round 1 this year. I think if you're sticking with Pickett, you might as well just stay with Pickett, all right? Write it out with him. Get a Ryan Tannehill or some other backup that you trust to come in if Pickett stinks, but don't draft another quarterback in round 1. That's just dumb to me.
Oh, I'm with you.
Now, if you get Russell Wilson this year and he stinks, then you could definitely think about taking another quarterback in the near future. But I want the Steelers to hold off on taking another rookie for at least the next 2 seasons. In the first round, that is. I'm okay with taking a quarterback later, like a Spencer Rattler or a Michael Pratt or Michael Penix if he falls to round 2 or something like that. But, using your first-round pick when you probably need to get a starting offensive tackle or a starting offensive center or a starting corner, and you're trading up to get McCarthy, I just think that is one of the most boneheaded mocks I have ever seen.
Legit
when it comes to the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Legit ever seen.
And what I said on this show, absolutely true. All right? Absolutely true. I will eat a shoe. I will eat my shoe on the channel if they trade up to number 9 overall for J.J. McCarthy.
That wasn't a lie.
It's not happening. All right? It's just not. Oh, my
All
God.
right. The wheel, I believe, is ready. Let me just make sure we're good there.
We got everybody in there?
We got everybody in there and their appropriate numbers. We have shuffled the board. So I think we're ready to go.
So Omar's Burner is asking, why do we need a center when we'll have Aaron Brewer?
I hope we do.
So if we have Aaron Brewer,
Then
here's
you
the thing.
don't.
Here's the thing, though. Here's the thing. You probably want another, interior guy that can play guard, too, though.
Yeah, you want to cross-train.
You want depth.
Yes.
Right? Because if you sign Aaron Brewer, he's your only center, true center on the roster. You want somebody to back him up.
When Mason Cole was hurt this year, who played center? Or who would have played center?
It would have been either Nate Herbig or Spencer Anderson.
Ew.
Yeah. Gross. Technically, Sayamalu and Daniels both have experience playing center.
Yeah, I forgot Daniels has. Does Sayamalu as well? Interesting.
Yep. So, I don't know, man. It'll be interesting to see what happens here. I think for sure the Steelers are taking at least one safety and at least one inside linebacker. I feel really good about those positions for sure being taken. And then for sure some sort of offensive lineman. They're going to take, whether that be interior, exterior, or both, they're going to draft some some offensive lineman.
Absolutely agree.
All right. I cannot talk anymore, man.
Wheel time. Are you ready?
All right, the winner of this spin is going to win an F the Browns t-shirt for the month of February. Let's get it going.
And 3, 2, 1. And we're off.
F the Browns. F the Browns. F the Browns. F the Browns. Who's going to get it? No. We can't give it to Kyle twice, right? Because he's the MVP.
But he won. Kyle wins. Kyle wins both. Let's go, Kyle.
Kyle was this month's MVP, winning the jersey, and now he's going to win the t-shirt too.
Them's the rules. Look, when you super chat as much as Kyle did, you usually get lucky. It wasn't rigged. Promise.
I mean,
it's impossible to rig.
It's impossible to rig. And hey, Kyle King put in over $500 last week on the stream.
My man Kyle King.
Right, so, Kyle, I'll give it up to you, man.
Kyle,
this month's MVP.
Kyle, do you have Kyle on Twitter?
Yes.
Okay. Make sure you DM Sperry your shipping stuff, Kyle, and we will get those items sent out to you.
Send me your shipping address, and I'll make sure to get the jersey and the t-shirt out to you ASAP. Thanks for being a real one. Coop, I am absolutely dead.
I'm cooked. It's time to get out of here.
I'm ready to go, man. Thank you to every single person out there that stuck with us to the very end today. We'll see you guys later. From me and Jeffrey Cooperstein, we'll see you later. And until next time,